studio. I'm Samantha and today we're going to be making color wheels. This is my traditional color wheel that I have hanging in my studio. And you know, color wheels are great just for artist reference to choose colors for a painting. And they're even just nice to look at. But I thought we'd take it a step further today and add some value to our color wheel. So this is my example, and now I'm going to show you how to get started. Okay, so these are the supplies you'll need today to get started on your color wheel. You'll need paper and a pencil, a ruler, and a circle template to draw out the color wheel design. And then you'll be needing paints and paint brushes. You can use acrylic or tempera for this project. We're going to talk for just a second about what radial design means. And it's just simply a design that radiates out from a center point or a circle. Radial design has balance due to the evenly placed spaced shapes and designs. And so essentially a color wheel itself is radial design. And so this is where we begin, and I'm going to use a bowl that I have for my circle template, and we will quickly trace it onto our paper while we hold it still. And on this part you can be very technical and you can measure out and space your color wheel spaces perfectly by finding the center points or the center point of your circle and then measuring out evenly. I am going to cheat and do it the easy way, and I just like to line up my ruler like this and make a cross through the middle of my circle, or a T, and I do like this so I can kind of tell if I'm toward the center, and I hope that's close enough. And then I'm going to go in and create the letter V in between each in each section. And this is where you can use a ruler and you can do it however fits you, but you need to end up with a total of 12 sections for this project. And then to create our radial design, we will start using lines and shapes to essentially create the design. So I'm going to start in the center with just a curved line in each section and work my way around. And then after this, I will choose a different shape to come in next. I may do a shape like this, and then I will just keep adding to it. Okay, so now that I've got my drawing done for the color wheel, I'm ready to start adding color. And so today we're going to be adding value to our color wheels, and this is what's going to make the color wheel so interesting. It's because we're going to have different values, and value simply means the lightness or darkness of a color. And so when you look at the chart I've made, over here are the tints, and that's when you add white to a color. Here were my colors in the center, and you can see I've added some white, and then I've added even more white here, and so it gets lighter. So these are tints of orange, blue, and red. Over here we have shades, which are when you add black to a color. And so you can see the orange gradually getting darker. So the shades of orange get darker as you add more black. And so in our color wheel today, we're going to use value by adding white to colors and adding black to colors to create those tints and shades. And so I'm going to have my tints in the center of my color wheel. Then the value will get darker as it comes out, and I will have my shades out toward the edges, and that will create lots of interest for my final design. And so now I'm going to get started, and we are going to start with the color red. And so I'm going to get my brush ready and dry it off. And I'm going to start with just the white paint, because when we paint with white, it only takes a little bit of color you know, to kind of cover up the white. If we started with the color and started adding white to it, we would just keep adding white and keep adding white until we got where we wanted. So I've got just a little bit of red on my brush, and I'm going to mix that in now So it just took a very small drop of color to make a tint of red, which is like a light pink. And if you want it even lighter, like mine's maybe a little bit darker than I want, I can go back and get some more white and come in on top of it and lighten it up even some more. And then my next section, we'll add some red and some white, but we're going to make this one just a little bit darker. So we're not going to use quite as much white. Kind of a color in between a pink and a red. And then I'll come into the center, and my next one I'll just use the red as is, the way it came out of the bottle. Let me finish up this section. Okay, so I've got two lighter tints of red. And then now I'm ready to come in with my true red. And I'm going to use the true red again for the next shape, working its way out. So this will be red. Okay, so now I'm ready to start adding a shade to create a darker value of red. So I'm going to get just a little bit of black on my brush. It does not take much black at all. In fact, I'm going to use some that's in my brush to go on and put in those other spots because I do not want to make it too dark. Once you've added too much black, it's really hard to lighten it up. You can keep adding your color all day long, but the black just overpowers. So be careful not to get too much. So now I've got a little darker red, not a whole lot darker, but enough that we can tell a difference for that shape. And now I'm adding a little bit more out here and come in with some red to mix with it. And I might get a little bit more. We want to be able to see the difference here. There we go. And that'll leave my last shape, which will be a very, very dark shade of red. Right now it's almost like a maroon or a burgundy color, but that last shape will almost be black. It will be such a dark red. And now I've basically completed my first section of the color wheel, and you can kind of see how it gradually goes from our lightest value of red to our darkest value. And then I will do the same thing with each color, and I'll go in order of the color wheel. So I will either be doing orange or purple next on the side of the red, and I'll work my way around, and we'll see it in a few minutes when it is complete. Okay, so earlier I told you we'd be creating our radial design, and now we can see it. We have balance because these shapes are equally spaced apart and spread out on the color wheel. We can also see value. We can see our tints and shades. Our tints are in the middle, and then we see our shades out here. And I'm also planning on going back and using just my true oranges, reds, and bringing them out to the sides and continuing my colors to the edge of the page. I'll plan on doing that later. But I wanted to talk for just a second about balance. It's a principle of art, and it's how the lines, shapes, colors, etc. are arranged in a work of art. And so this is a great example of balance because it balances out all the way around. Radial design is not the only way to create balance, but it's a great way to do that. So I hope your color wheels turned out amazing. I can't wait to see them. Please share pictures in the comments below. And find me on social media, Samantha Wood Art. And remember to subscribe, like, and comment. Thanks.